We're about to witness the incredible. Welcome to the Hockenheimring and welcome to something special. Today here in Germany, it's the Dörr Group track day and you see beside me the McMurtry Speirlings. This is the car that set the fastest ever hill climb run time at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. This, however, is the validation prototype 1 of the Spéirling Pure, the ultimate track hypercar, which today is going to be smashing records. We're going to understand what goes in to making this something with the footprint of a 1960s Grand Prix car, boasting over 1,000 horsepower, weighing a little over 1,000 kilos, and with 2 tons of downforce, thanks to the revolutionary technology, the fans that are operating. We're going to be taking a full look around the car, joining some members of the team. We're going to be catching up with Chilton, who's going to be piloting this car for the run that you're about to witness, a run that is going to absolutely blow our minds away. As you can imagine, there's a lot going on, but we are about to see for our own eyes something never done before, to see what happens when this is unleashed. The McMurtry Spéirling Pure, a car that you can actually set, should you wish, by adjusting the fans to drive at GT3 pace, or you can dial it up to LMP2, or go even faster through the apexes here at the Hockenheimring than Sebastian Vettel's out-and-out lap record in a Formula 1 car. There's a lot to see, a lot to take in. Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Hockenheimring. It's Dörr Group track day, and it's time to watch what the McMurtry Spéirling Pure can do. To give you a bit of an understanding of what's going on, today is shakedown day. There are 6 to 8 sessions, each time everything being amped up just a little bit, loaded with sensors, loaded with all sorts of things. I can give the thumbs up for them to go out, and that is now off silently, being driven by Chilton, F1 driver, but also the man who was behind the wheel when it ran up for that record hill climb run at Goodwood. And amongst some very noisy, very fast stuff, that's about to be the craziest, and I think we should head to the pit wall to go and watch this flying by. And once more, that is ballistically fast. I think we need to start by understanding what exactly this is. Now here at Hockenheim today, we're in some pretty amazing company. Lotus Evija, GM8050, new Lamborghini Countaches, many Paganis, Valkyrie, you name it. But of all of those cars, this is absolutely the fastest of them all. Now, I'm standing here holding the brochure for the Spéirling because there is one thing about it that I'd like to show you. One thing that I think summarizes this entire car, and that's this: 4-in-1. Choose your mode to suit the track. This car can offer GT3 pace, LMP2 pace, Le Mans Hypercar pace, or F1 pace, depending how you're feeling on that day. And that is because it is an EV fan car. You can change the amount of performance, the power that it's delivering. You can change how the fans are operating to give you different levels of downforce. Now, the thing to consider with that is that underneath this car, you have 2 fans, and the way it works with a skirt system basically keeps the whole car completely sucked to the tarmac. And what's different about it is that you can effectively have the full 2,000 kilos of downforce from 0 miles per hour in this. Now, to compare that to a normal car, right, when you have maximum downforce, that's typically at Vmax, at your highest speed, and then when you're braking down towards a corner and you're trailing off the brakes, you're also shaving downforce. So in this, it can go through corners like it's on rails, unlike anything else in existence. Now, it has 1,000 odd horsepower, of course, electric power, instant torque, massive amounts of go, the weight somewhere under 1,200 kilos, massive power to weight out of it. And it's tiny. It's super short, about 3.70 meters long, and very narrow. Single seat, central position, and you're going to watch me trying to clamber into that in just a second. Of course, a whole ton of other aerodynamic elements going on as well. Everything that's around the bodywork, all of the different things that you would expect on something like this. A car of which 100 are going to be made. This is the very one that Max drove at Goodwood. Now, because it's this EV fan car, the difference compared to anything else is the sound out of it. The sound that we've just heard as this goes flying down the straights past us. It's almost like a jet plane, literally at full speed, flying past you. The noise is really quite loud and quite impressive, but so different to anything that we're used to. There's a lot going on back here with aero that's managed through the bodywork, the massive wing. Of course, you can adjust the different angles and change the positions of it all. But this is just a taster. There is so much going on underneath the skin of the car that is about to go and obliterate lap times here at the Hockenheimring. Come on in, let's talk about the cabin. Now, to climb in here, the first thing I need to do is actually remove the steering wheel. Quick release just on there, so from top and bottom, give that a pull, pop that out. This is literally the wheel that you'd hold, the record holder at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, 26th of June 2022, 39.08 seconds, almost a second off the previous record, the fastest thing that has ever gone up the Goodwood Festival of Speed hill climb. Now, the technique I've been shown, but I'm not an expert at it, so bear with me, but effectively you kind of sit on the side, which is obviously PPF'd, so we know that we're not going to be causing any damage to it. Swing your feet in, use a bit of the carbon here, full carbon chassis and carbon fibre bodywork, and then delicately lower yourself down and into the centre of this thing. Gosh. Oh, that's a crazy seating position. Your legs are really high up. Grab the steering wheel, pull this back in, pop that into position. Can you believe that? Wow. Of course, 2 pedals, 1 on either side. Gosh. But you're sat right in the middle. The view around is just insane. Looking forwards, looking out over the mirrors. Even these are designed like aerofoils, like wings, just keeping it in shape. I can't imagine what sitting in here, as Max has just done, is actually like. When it comes to getting out though, I'm not sure if I can do this as cleanly as getting in. Actually, that wasn't too bad. Things have quietened down a touch. Shakedown runs for today are over, but there's a lot riding on what's going to be coming up with this, the out-and-out attack here at the Hockenheimring. But I think before we get to that, before we understand or get to see the results, we need to find out a little bit more about the car itself. And to do that, Thomas Yates, who's been the lead behind this project, is going to join us to show us a bit more about it. I think it's safe to say this has moved on a fair bit since I first saw it, which was a couple of months before your record run?
Yeah. So that was a gumball event at Shelsley, wasn't it? That we first met, and
it was the Batman spec.
Yes, yeah. So we were running a black car, no rear wing, and yeah, it really has come along. In fact, that was much closer to the spec of the original Goodwood car that we've got here as well today.
But here we are, big things in the works for this.
Yeah.
But I think we need to understand it because this is technology unlike anything else, right? This is honestly, we're so proud to be the sort of current custodians of this technology. I mean, it's such an awesome technology, and it's got such a it's had such a challenging past all the way back to the 1970s when it was first conceived with a Skidoo engine in the Chaparral 2J, and then Gordon Murray tried to put fan technology in the Brabham BT46B, and that was an epic car, and it was 3 seconds a lap quicker than anyone, first time out with Niki Lauda driving at the Swedish Grand Prix. But politics got in the way of that one too, and by the end of the year, the organisational body decided that they needed to make sure that no one had a competitive advantage like Gordon Murray had achieved on the BT46B. So at that point, fan technology wasn't brought in either. But here we are, sort of more than 40 years later, and finally we've been able to really show what fan technology is capable of, and it's just so exciting. I mean, the car is capable of doing downforce at all speeds. I mean, what car can do that? Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, you've driven this.
I have, yeah. I'm lucky enough to have driven it at Silverstone. I've driven the previous car on numerous occasions as well, and all I can say is that the car just makes you feel like Iron Man. I can't pretend to be a Formula 1 driver, but I can drive this car and I can feel like superhero levels of competence. I mean, you've just got left foot braking, right foot throttle, and steering inputs, and the downforce is there all the time. You've got ABS, so you can absolutely smash the brake pedal, and you haven't even got to come out because the downforce is there all the time.
Yeah.
And you've got this lovely linear throttle response that you achieve with the electric powertrain. So it's just glorious to drive, and you get the most insane forces that you would never believe that you could accept, but you can rest your head on the headrest, and you just drive this thing like you would never believe.
From the outside, certainly from my position, when I start hearing 1,000 horsepower, 2,000 kilos of downforce, like 3.5 Gs cornering, my brain goes into meltdown that must be impossible, but that's not the case. Like,
No,
anybody technically can drive it. And
absolutely. I mean, the reality is that my times compared to times of Max, for example, driving the car, aren't that far away. I mean, we're talking a few seconds, but we're not talking lots and lots of seconds. And that's just because when you just have a few inputs, when you have a really reassuring level of grip that's always there, mere mortals can drive at speeds that they just normally wouldn't be able to, and in a safe way.
it's also fascinating to stand here at the front and look at the shape, because this is very much about airflow happening within the bodywork, the negative space kind of philosophy of
Yes.
packaging everything in, but also allowing air to do what air does. I'm presuming even kind of this component back here is acting as an aerofoil, a kind of wing across the back. And
Well, yeah, so that's a really good question, because you're right, there's an aerofoil component to this wing, but on this prototype, this wing section actually also houses the ductwork for the downforce system itself, because you've got the fan components here, and then actually the downforce is delivered in the center of the car. So we run a suction tube basically down through the wing section.
so it has to go through here and down in,
Absolutely,
serving multiple purposes, but
Yes.
keeping it as tiny as possible in the process.
Indeed, yeah, and actually to the naked eye, you'd never even know it was there.
And then when you start just looking through it, it's I mean, the lightest weight possible tail lamps, every component.
I'm pretty confident this is going to be the fastest car that we're ever going to build, because it is just everything pushed to the nth degree. Next year we're going to start the production. We're just taking on the keys to a new factory very soon, and yeah, we're cracking on.
100 of these. Well, I look forward to seeing the results of a camera that's been stuck in there with Max tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Go and see what the result is.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time we've ever run the car at Hockenheim, and today's been a great learning journey for us. But I'm super excited to see what he can do. I mean, there's so many wonderful cars out here. We've already had some exciting overtakes of a Huayra R, which, I mean, you just think a Huayra R, and we were overtaking it around the outside, and that's a car with proper downforce, and it's sort of a dream vehicle. And here we are with the McMurtry Spéirling up against it.
So Max, how's the driving?
It's fantastic. I haven't been back to Hockenheim since I raced it in it 10 years ago in Formula 1, but it's a great track. And in the Spéirling Pure, it is just mind-blowingly fast. I mean, the thing I love about this car is I've been lucky to race in Formula 1, World Endurance Championship, and this thing is leaps and bounds faster in certain areas, mid to low speed grip, acceleration, braking. I've been driving this car for 2 years now, and it still shocks me how fast it is. It also shocks me in other ways that it's so drivable, because it's got no gears, it's got two pedals, it's like the world's fastest go-kart. It's very drivable. It's obviously got powered steering, and I really feel like over the last 2 years we've really developed the ultimate track car. But you can also do Formula 1 speed for one lap and then think, oh, that's enough for me, I want to go to GT3 pace. And within the switch of 2 dials, you can go from 2,000 kilos of downforce down to 200 or 300, which is like a GT3 car. And you can turn it from 1,000 horsepower down to a few hundred horsepower. So you can then start doing 20, 30 lap runs and playing around with other cars and your mates, but then you can embarrass them by just turning it straight back up again to like ludicrous performance. So for me, it's just like the great all-round car. And I just love the size of it. The other thing that makes driving so great in this car is it's such a small concept that on a track, especially like here or Silverstone, you could have 5, 6, 7 wide. So if you're out there with your friends, you can really dice around. That's why I always go back to like the go-kart terminology. It's really small, but super stable and super fun.
So it's not like the current F1 cars squeezing around Monaco then?
Yeah, I mean, Formula 1 now is a ludicrous performance, but they're also getting way too big. I believe they're shrinking them back down, but this is a 1960s F1 car footprint. So it's really small. The wheelbase is 2 meters, which is actually the width of a modern day F1 wing, and that's our wheelbase. So it is a tiny car, yet it can corner around mid to slow speed corners 10 miles an hour quicker than you would in a modern day Formula 1 car. This is now running Michelin LMP2 tyres, so you've got these wider tyres than what we had on our Goodwood record car. So you get the flared arches, more mechanical tyre. We've got 50% more tyre on the ground now, so you've got a lot more grip. And I just think it looks meaner. From behind, it's just got these big rolled arches. It's quite an unusual design as well. We've got this offset hatch, so if you look at it from this angle, the door isn't hitching right in the middle of the chassis, it's off-centered, so it gets a lot of easy accessibility to getting in the car. So that's quite...
I tried to get in earlier and I did not do it that smoothly.
There's quite a nice little detail. This was actually my doing, so I've been with them for 2 years now, and I just felt like the rear end needed a bit more stability. So they, within a couple of weeks, designed this. We had it on the car, and instantly there was more performance from the car. So I like to think I've at least added to something on the car. And then you come round to the rear of the car, and you've got these 2 giant fans which are sucking a huge amount of air out the bottom of the car, which gets chucked out of here. It's got an amazing filtration system. So people sometimes say, what happens if you suck up a stone? Is it going to fly into the car behind and damage it on a track day? There's filters in front of the rear wheels, and it's all collected. So at the end of the run, inside you'll find bolts, bits of rubber, rocks. So all the big bits get collected, and all the fine silt, which you would have seen on videos online when it went viral, is all being chucked out here, but that is just like fine dust. So that's, that's a cool feature. You've got these lovely little LED brake lights, which I think look fantastic. And I just love the look of it. I mean, looks are personal, but for me, I just think it looks mean. I love the big flared arches, the drivability of it. It will do whatever you want at mid to slow speed, and the acceleration is just mind-blowing. So you've got on here, this is fan, so you've got 6 different settings. This one is 23,000 RPM, which is basically 2,000 kilos, down to the Mat 1, which is equivalent of 300 or 400 kilos. And then you've got power. Mat 1 is about 300 horsepower, 400, 500, all the way up to 1,000 horsepower. And in the moment I do that, it's done. So you can go from a GT3 car, like there maybe, to a F1 car, like that. It is how simple it is.
If you're super brave and just go for it.
Yeah.
Good morning. It's the calm before the storm. Track is not yet live. It's super quiet out here. It's actually quite unusual to be at the Hockenheimring when it's this peaceful. But very shortly, everything's going to be unleashed. It's going to be time for Max to hop into the hot seat, to push this, to see what happens. We have some expectations when it comes to cornering speeds to apexes, but what's the lap time going to be? What's it going to set here out on circuit? It's about to be time then. You ready?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful day. We got a nice bit of practice in yesterday. The car's ready and prepped, and now it's down to me to try and get the job done, but that's my profession, so I'll try my best.
To get out there and send it.
Exactly. It's such a great car. I mean, it takes very little preparation. I just need to get in there, do the right switches, turn the power and the fan up, or the downforce at the right time, and then give it a one-lap wonder and see what time we can do.
And that is how you more elegantly enter this car. Final prep. Max getting comfortable, getting ready, everything being prepared for the runs ahead. And just like that, it's time to go. The target for the day is to break the closed wheel record at the Hockenheimring, a record that was previously held by René Rast driving the DTM car in qualifying back in 2020. René set a lap time of 1 minute 28.337. Now the McMurtry Spéirling Pure is running at 75% power and 75% downforce, part of increasing the performance as they undergo testing at different circuits and in different environments. But hopes are high that today this is going to be a completely achieved objective and a new lap record. It's genuinely crazy how you hear that the Spéirling Pure is coming, the fan noise in the distance. It's about to appear. Here we go then. Get ready, get ready, get ready. And we are go. So, let's see what happens. We can hear him already. 1 minute 5, 1 minute 6, so we can hear him coming in the distance. Eyes on the timer. I mean, the fact that we can hear him as loudly as we can at that time. Here he comes. Wow, 125.
125. That's the best ever. Yeah, 125.
Oh, 125 all round.
Yes. Well done. Congrats.
Happy faces. Well done, guys.
Where did that come from?
Nice. Triumphant return on the first run of the day. It's about to be time to do this again. Door closed. unplug the charger from the back. Obviously one of the very last things to get done with this before it's going to be time to blast out. We will run to our point on the start line to see what the time is going to come in at. Off it goes. The official timing gear. This is what's going to tell us exactly what it does. That is so fast as it goes past us, right? Timer has begun. Right. Where are we? 40 seconds. What are we at? 110, 119, 120, 121, 22, 23. Oh, 124.43. 124.
That's still improvement. That's still improvement.
Yeah,
That's
fast.
Wow.
That is by far the fastest car, isn't it? I mean, that's amazing.
Wow. Well done, guys.
It's good. That's really good. It's really good.
Here he comes. Wow, and the number of people that came out to watch that. Wow. My word. That was cool to see. He's made it then. What a moment for the whole team to celebrate that. Super cool. Come on, Max, how was it? How did it feel?
Buzzing, yeah. I mean, we just went, I think, 16 seconds quicker than the Mercedes Project One, which is a road car, but a very track-focused car. So, what an achievement! And I mean, that's only like my 4th or 5th push lap round here. So there's plenty more in it. We've got more top speed and more downforce to go. So it's quite remarkable that we're breaking records and we're not at our full potential yet.
Absolutely insane. Well done.
Thank you.
Incredible run.
So we've just turned to power lap 7, which is now full power, or 75% power. Tyres are warm. We've now got 75% downforce, and this is the start. Flying along here, the thing just keeps accelerating. Don't have long to brake and then chuck it in. There's a bit of an exit curve, you have to try and avoid it. I caught it a little bit too much, then the thing just flew down here. And the braking performance in here is insane. I thought I'd overshot it, turned it in, and it just gripped. And I'm just fighting it. So much G-force. Out of here, really quite easy, and the thing just accelerates. I think we get to a top speed of about 175 down here. We've got potential to go to 190, but it's quite fast coming into here, and I was just waiting for the 100-metre board. Probably broke again a little bit too late, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to stop, but then bang, it just stops. Turn, fight the car, just clip the apex. It's totally mad, totally mad. This one, high speed, it's not absolute great, but it takes the car really well. It rides a bit bumpy, and again here, I'm braking really hard. The ABS is going mad. Slightly missed the apex, but then the car just grips, and off you go. Pretty much starting the last bit of the lap, but this is the most technical part of the lap coming into the complex. This corner is completely blind. It's a little bit bumpy. I increased my speed about 5 miles an hour through there, but was happy. This one's really daunting. There's no runoff. It's bumpy. The surface isn't great. Spun it there yesterday, but got away with it today. And flew through this chicane. I love this last bit. There's like undulations, 2 fast apexes, and I knew there was a crowd of people waiting for me, so I just made sure I didn't bin it on the last corner. And then I think I came to the pit wall to give you some dust. Yeah, there you go. Eat my dust. There we go.
It was good. It was good.
Absolutely sensational.
Cool.
There's no breathing room in that, is there?
No.
Blimey, that is honestly, I've forgotten how good you are.
You give me the machinery to do it, but it's amazing. It literally at points I'm like, this is the fastest car in the world. There's nothing, as you see that I brake late, the ABS is going mad, and I think I've overshot it, and then the last sort of approaching to the apex, it just glues, and I'm like, and it just takes it.
And how much faster was he through the hairpin?
It's about 5 or 6 miles an hour quicker than the pole lap Formula 1 through the apex. So it's pretty impressive. And we've got more. I mean, that was basically 75% of total what we've got. So there's more to come.
Fair play to you as well. We put all this pressure on you, and then you just deliver again.
Try to.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, team. Thank you.
Well done, everyone.
It has been mission success. That target time of 1 minute 28.3 from René Rast in the 2020 DTM car has been absolutely smashed by the Speirling Pure, with McMurtry setting a time of 1 minute 24.43 and therefore successfully breaking the closed wheel record at the famous Hockenheimring with a time almost 4 seconds faster than the previous record. We've seen the lap then.
Yep.
We know how it went. look pretty terrifyingly fast to me.
It is. It's mind blowing, and it still takes me a while to get comprehended, especially with learning new tracks. We haven't done a huge amount of laps here. We've just broken most of the records here, and again, just to reiterate, that was 75% of the total downforce that we have available, and only 75% of the total horsepower that we have available. So there's definitely more to come. We've only been here for a day, so I can't wait to go to more tracks around Europe and America later in the summer and break some more records. It's really the ultimate track car, and there's always more.
When you say it like that, just to wind back a moment, 75% downforce and 75% power.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more. There's 500 kilos more downforce to go, and there's 250 horsepower more power.
You've exactly nailed it. So you try and do the calculations, that's multiple seconds. Again, we don't fully know where we're at yet. We just know how much more performance we can give it. We don't know where that's going to put us in time. But it's just fun to drive, and you know, you probably wouldn't want to do that lap after lap, but if your mate's out there in a GT3 car, you can just turn it with a dial and before you know it, you're at like 400-500 horsepower and you're 600-700 kilos of downforce, and then you can play with them.
Yeah.
So it's just like such a great tool. It's so easy to run, and again, the driver's in complete control.
So one of the things that I think I can say for many petrol heads is you always want to just dial up to the max, right? You get into something, whether it's this or a supercar, you always turn it to race mode, you turn it to the hardcore settings.
Yeah.
In here, do you feel comfortable not doing that?
Feel comfortable
As in,
not doing that?
you're mentally comfortable just setting it for the type of driving, like you just mentioned, for driving with your mates in a GT3 car or something.
Yes.
Like you don't feel the pressure that you have to go all out attack.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the first time we were here yesterday, we did a multiple lap run with probably half of our performance, but it's really fun. It was like learning the racing line. Oh, I missed the apex that lap, I'll go around the next lap and do it again. What we did this morning was like full, 75%, but a full attack mode. And that is like a one lap, let's try and get it right. So you can really treat it like a qualifying car or a race car. And now we've got like a charge time of down to 20 minutes. You can literally do a 6-7 lap run, come in, speak to your engineer, or speak to your friends, have a coffee, and then you're ready to go.
Watch back your video.
Exactly, watch it back. So it's just such a complete car now. And I think it's the only thing in the world on the market that's purchasable and gives you that level of Formula One to road car performance, whatever you want in between.
Well, epic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done to you and the team. The celebration, hey, the celebration. Here in the pit lane of that time in the Speirling. Very impressive. We're more or less then at the end of the weekend, and what a weekend it has been here at the Hockenheimring with the Dörr Group Day. I've been out before, always the most impressive of impressive lineups. Supercars blasting around, GT3 RS just coming in now, the supercars, the hypercars, the race cars, and then the fastest of them all right here, the McMurtry Spéirling Pure with that lap of 124.43, and to see the excitement on the faces of the team, to know all of the work that goes into doing something like this, and also the fact that it can go even quicker, but to understand more of this, to go around it with Tom earlier, to figure out the technicalities of the car, and then to hear from Max as well all the way through the weekend, to understand what it's like to actually drive in this thing, to drive and to really drive, as we've been able to witness. What a weekend it's been. A big thanks to the whole team at McMurtry for the opportunity to join and to be able to tag along and bring you behind the scenes of what this run has been all about. This is a car you can buy. There are going to be 100 made. It's a car that, to be honest, opens new stratospheres of performance, really, and I think that's what's super cool to see, what's super cool to understand. New engineering, new approaches to make literally the fastest track hypercar out there. That's it for now though. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Big thanks again to McMurtry, to the Dörr Group, to everyone who's been part of it. It's been a lot of fun, and I will see you again very soon. Cheers!